All right, bet. What's up with y'all? So OBS has a tendency to crash about 25 minutes into every single stream that I have. So we're restarting it without like web sockets or anything. And essentially we're just going to be doing homework, and I'm just going to try and grind all of that out. I'm probably going to rant a little too, like while this is happening, but something interesting that's been going on. I'm not sure why I corrected myself and said the wrong one. Whatever. Something interesting that's been going on is, damn it. I completely forgot what I was gonna say, but I believe that's the fault of social media. But yeah, something interesting that's been going on is, I'm feeling really discouraged about math, and I still love math. I still think it's great, but it's hard when you used to be really confident in something that you're not as confident in anymore, and that is integration. I have some hypotheses as to, why this could be the case, like why I perform poorly during like in integration testing and integration related assessments, or really just like at integration as a whole. And I think a lot of it is just like my general intuition. This is something prevalent in autistic people. I'm not blaming it on my autism, by the way. Normally you'd see that autistic people are like better at math. Anyway, but integration is a very intuition based thing when you're choosing your methods. It's far more intuition based than something like differentiation that always works, right? Or not always, most of the time. But they're not necessarily like elementary forms to integrals. And it's tricky, like it's rough, because I don't know, I do poorly at them and I get discouraged. So today I'm going to be focusing on some English stuff instead. Oh damn. Oh, we're supposed to do our initial posts by Friday? Shit. Damn. Yo, I have it on my Mac. Okay, so no works cited, or whatchamacallit. libgen slow productivity. Let's close some of those extra things going on in the background. All right, let's get slow productivity. Also, Claude banned me because I'm a minor, which sucks because I've been using it since last summer and all of my data is on there. But, it is what it is. Why is libgen being so slow? What the hell? Okay, well, let's try this. Slow productivity. Okay. I have it on my Mac. I'll just upload it and then use like iCloud. All right, so this is going to take an extensively long time. But for slow productivity, I can probably just find a PDF somewhere. Is this the whole thing? I don't think so. Is this it? Yeah, the art of accomplishment without burnout. Okay, so we got the PDF. I'm about 99% sure that's it. So all of chapter 1 and chapter 2. Let's go to chapter 3 really quick. Ooh, that's 40 pages. Crap. Okay, well, let's switch to 2-page view. Dude, I hate reading so much. Like, I used to love reading. I used to love, you know, all the stories I'd read. That entire bookshelf behind me was filled with Percy Jackson, mainly. I loved Rick Riordan. I was in, like, 3rd grade, raw dogging Heroes of Olympus. And then in, like, 7th grade or so, I kind of just stopped reading. It's funny because you can see, like, all my state testing scores too, like my map scores 99th percentile, 99th percentile, 99th, and it stayed consistent with math. But as soon as it hit like 7th grade, it started dropping. It's just, yeah. Yeah, this is boring, bro. And it sucks too, because like I know all of the like quick dopamine hits of content that I give myself are very much why I have this issue. But it's so hard to stop. Like if they had, oh wait, no, some guy did make Instagram reel or Instagram without the reels. I might have to download that. Finish speeds more than 30,000 words and divided in 2 parts. Long form reporting. Fuck, bro. This is like tricky. I have to read this whole thing now. What's the question even about, bro? I feel like this is like an SAT question where they give us, but it's not multiple choice. What characteristics does a productive person possess according to Newport, and how do these characteristics differ from an unproductive person? Fuck. I should have read. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Adobe Acrobat. Yeah, let's open that shit up. Pages 8 through, what is it, 41? Oh, through 39. So 8 through 39. Extract. Okay, export this PDF. Bro, I'm trying to get this out. Fuck. Bro, open recent. Perfect. All right, I got them. I wonder if I can upload them as like context. I would never do that though. I would never. Biggest face. Grok. Okay. Oof. Okay, delete that part. Okay, let's see this. Okay. At the function with a bitch is at. Yo, this is tricky. Okay. So. Okay, according deep high quality output rather than visible busyness. We're gonna put this shit like this, so I look like one of them like news people. One of those like, they're turning the frogs gay. You feel me? Okay, so I'm gonna say According to Cal News Sport, a productive person focuses on like deep, high quality output rather than visible busyness. They utilize slow productivity. So I'm gonna purposefully use words with like a slightly like shitty connotation, or like the connotation is slightly off. So instead of like embrace, I'm gonna say utilize, because they're very similar, but their connotations are slightly different. I was trying to lower expectations when I first met the guy, so I introduced myself as autistic and someone that struggles with connotations, because that's the case. I am both autistic and I struggle with connotations with words. And I often won't know that things are rude because I don't know that people perceive certain things in certain ways, even though they mean the same thing. It's a whole thing. So I feel like now I kind of need to live up to that expectation, or else he's going to think I'm using AI, which is a whole other thing. Dude, I like writing, or I don't like writing. I like writing when it's things I like writing about, but the amount of AI accusations I get when it's something I like writing about is absurd. Egregious, absolutely insane, and I dislike it because I'm not using AI. Why does my camera look so bad, bro? Rex 709, configure video. Turn up saturation like a tiny bit. White balance. Backlight comp. Gain. I can't see any effects of gain. Okay, that's what that was. Okay. So yeah, let's turn that bitch down, like go like slightly. And that looks the exact same. Okay, well, that's great. I feel like the colors are popping a little more. They utilize slow productivity. Let's turn my monitor. Which means doing fewer things, working at a natural pace, and obsessing over quality. Newport. Dual citation. These attributes lead to things like sustainable accomplishment, with a prevalent example being John McPhee's lying on a picnic table for weeks to structure his Pine Barrens article before crafting masterpiece over a year. All right. All right, so this looks a little less impressive, but I swear we're gonna get there. Over a year, make fee produced 29 books and mentored. I think he like mentored people, right? Taught, should I say taught? And taught, because again, I'm not trying to sound smart. When you sound smart and you don't show any improvement, you get in trouble. Oh my god, that's why public speaking was so hard, dude. I haven't even talked about that. I walked in there, I knew how to publicly speak. So she was expecting to see even more improvement. But there's like, oh shit, I don't even know how to, hold on, OneNote. Let me pull up Microsoft, like freaking OneNote here, dude. Mapping, select one display. Display one, apply. Okay. So this is like public speaking, bro. Damn, bro. I'm just trying to make like that. Okay, so this is effort. And then this is skill. This is like realized real world skill, right? And I know you guys technically can't see my mouse cursor. Let me see if I can change that, by the way. Video capture or OneNote. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah, that's the one it automatically uses. Let's see if we can use the different one. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's way better. So, and then the skill gap, it like, this is like you put in a certain amount of effort into learning how to publicly speak. It's like, it goes up like this. And then the people that go up here, like you either get this, from like this threshold here, either comes from experience or natural talent. So this whole area, like above here, is damn near unachievable. And this is what she was expecting to see me break into. But the issue is, she's teaching the class to kids that started off like here. I was like here. Like, yeah, my ideas could have been a little more cohesive, but that's because I didn't prepare at all for the speech. You feel me? So it's like, she's literally expecting me to break into here, but the class is geared towards people that are right here. We're trying to get these people up to right here because they're not confident in themselves. And I don't know. That's probably the best gift that autism gave me is lack of fear. No fear. In terms of talking to people, no. And I truly believe that is because I like thought from a young age that if I was just like the person that I was, if I just, was Jackson, if I just was myself, then the only people that would be around me are the people that like Jackson. And why would I want people around me that don't like Jackson? You know what I mean? In freshman year, I deviated from this because of all like the Andrew Tate people. I was on the alt-right pipeline. My girlfriend saved me. Shout out. I'm not gonna dox her. Bro, who's watching this? What am I talking about? Still not gonna name her. I started acting like performatively masculine. I was like working out and stuff, eating healthy, and it's like all of these things are great and like I should be doing them regardless, but like I was only doing it then because I was trying to portray something. And it sucks. Like I wish I could do that normally. And I can. I just don't have the will for it and I need to train that. But I made a bunch of friends that I ended up losing really, really quickly because I didn't know how to socialize with these people because I was LARPing being masculine, bro. Yeah, bro. I saw the basketball game the other day, and like me personally, Darren Watkins Jr. was so tough on the court. It's like I was just faking it, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like this whole experience of not only Annabelle like turning me back liberal, like making me, you know, bring some common sense onto the field. But it was also that realization that kind of like put me on to why non-binary people are non-binary. And it's like gender norms not wanting to conform to them. I don't want to conform to gender norms. I don't really like gender language. You know that one guy who says, if a bitch do the, well, my mind, the mathematician mind immediately thinks, okay, well, there's 50,000 exceptions. That's never going to work in a rigorous formal proof. And that sounds like the nerdiest thing of all time, but like, that's the case. I genuinely think that way. And it's because I think that way that I've started to realize gender kind of is like a spectrum. It's like, two bell curves. Desmos.com. E to the negative x minus, oh my god, Desmos is stupid. Let me write out this graph. Minus x minus 2 squared. This is what I kind of view gender as like. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that go in both directions, right? Assuming, you know, this is male and then this is female. They're like, this is kind of what I see it as. And obviously, you know, you can add like a higher even power to make it like conform more. Let me make that like 3x and then make that like 3x. Like, you can make it conform more and then you can, you know, separate them or whatever. But if this is male, I kind of view myself as like right here. Right? Like, maybe even like down here. Nah, this is like femboy area. But it's not like I'm sad about it. You know, like, I'm glad that I don't hold myself to gender norms that I don't really like. I like being able to wake up and just do what I want to, like make music and do math. Those, you know, I mean, the math thing to, you know, like misogynist or whatever may seem like like more of a man thing to do than a woman, but it doesn't seem particularly masculine in comparison to something like WWE. And what I like is that I can just do that, and I like it, and I'm comfy with it. And I've developed the critical thinking after going through high school and being on both ends of should we have gender norms, should we not? Like, being on both sides of that helped me realize, no, do what makes you happy, bro. Um, yeah. Nah, I just think it's kind of cool. That like we as humans are able to just do this shit that we like. Anyway, yeah, moving on to this. McPhee produced 29 books and taught. Damn it, who'd he teach? I don't think there were any specific examples. I think it was just like people, like important people. It's people. Calmly, without frantic activity. I'm pretty sure they said that somewhere in the book. And showed that productivity peaks. No. Man, I hate not being able to describe stuff without math, because if this were math, I'd say like, bro, where are my pens? Oh, I'd say that, productivity of intentional focus over oh no, damn it, yeah, I guess productivity. So here we have being productive, just like doing shit, doing work essentially. I mean, yeah, that's enough, physics on its own. So we have intention of productivity, and then we have frantic over productivity equals work, and then work is greater than 1. That's how I would say it, but I don't know how to put that into English, which is a problem. And show that productivity given intention performs far better in the long run. And then what was the next one? Oh, how do they differ for an unproductive person? Okay. These characteristics are inversed for unproductive people. Oh, you know what's crazy? Study corporate bullshit work productivity. Um, I'm trying to find the study. Where is the study? Okay. It's out of Cornell. Okay, so this study, I'm gonna move this right here. This study shows that people who fall for corporate BS, like if you use a bunch of words, just corporate jargon, that mean nothing. People who will read that and don't have the literacy skills to realize that it's not profound in any way. People who think, oh wow, he's really saying something there, when it's like gibberish with big words, not only perform worse at their jobs and perform significantly worse on critical thinking and like overall cognitive performance, but are far more likely to get promoted and to be in their bosses or their supervisors' good graces. This is like actual BS. Or no, it's not BS because it's true, but okay. Okay, so business culture often seems overrun by corporate bullshit, a semantically empty and often confusing style of communication. So yeah, like I said, literal BS. Corporate BS can seem harmless. At worst, it can disrupt organizational and employee effectiveness in numerous ways, including obstructing clear communication. As someone that struggles with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, corporate BS is my worst enemy because it means people can't properly communicate with each other. Every single email I sent to a teacher in high school, I literally had to have my dad read it over just so I knew I wasn't saying anything rude. Hello? Like that's a problem. Like that's something we struggle with. And if we're getting our work done better than an incompetent neurotypical, but we speak directly. Actually, that shouldn't even be a but. And we speak directly. We will perform worse than the neurotypical that's a literal sheep, does nothing, but thinks everything using big words is like profound in some way, significant in some type of way. Like it's actual BS. Total n equals 1018. I didn't take AP stat or any kind of statistics class. I believe that means sample size. It's total n sample size. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing as sample size. The total amount of like observed things. Construction and validation of the corporate bullshit reception scale. So essentially how receptive you are to BS. A novel measure of individual different, yeah. Results show that corporate BS receptivity is distinct from general affinity for corporate speech. So the people that are fluent in corporate, right? Okay, so there's three groups of people. I forgot to clarify this when I went over it earlier, and I'll like, you know, I'm also just reading some of this for the first time because I first saw it in a reel. There are three groups of people. It's like a Venn diagram. We have understands. Oh wait, no, we have direct communicators. And then we have, oh damn it, I can't say that. Dumbasses. And then we have IQ 160 plus. So these are the people, these are the autists. We speak very directly. We don't really understand corporate communication all that well, but given that we tend to critically think far more, I have another study on that. Matter of fact, let's do that. Autism critical thinking study. Autism intuition study. There's another study done on, I might be this. Okay. Bro, this website called Neurolaunch just has a bunch of BS. Okay, so yeah, this one's just kind of yeah. There was a study done on the relationship between how much thinking autistic individuals do is critical, and how much is intuition based and holistic. Based. It found that far more. What study is it? So I just saw this earlier today. Oh. Yeah, I think this was it. Okay, so dual process theory proposes two distinct reasoning processes in humans. So essentially there's intuitive thinking that's really light, easy, very like, and then there's critical thinking, which uses your prefrontal cortex. It's very energy intensive and yeah. Okay, so present studies, general population with varied degrees of autism traits and 2 males diagnosed with ASD versus comparisons. Taken together, the results suggest reasoning on the autism spectrum is compatible with processes proposed by dual process theory. The higher traits of autism or higher rates of autism traits in ASD are characterized by consistent bias towards deliberative reasoning and potentially away from intuition. So autistic people are a lot less like intuitive thinkers. Holy crap, I don't even know how we got here, dude. Oh, yeah. we're not that great at understanding corporate BS. Okay. And then yeah, obviously there's people in the middle that understand. Hold on. All right, guys. And then yeah, then there's the IQ 160 people in the middle that like do both. I feel like a large majority of neurotypicals in Gen Z tend to fit somewhat in this category. Like if you talk to a Gen Z person, their emails like from like their corporate email are going to be freaking you know. I hope this email finds you well. And I was actually wanting to circle back to this one thing we discussed the other day. It was in the fifth business meeting. It was about kind of intersecting. Yeah. And if you know that they're Gen Z and you respond to them in a Gen Z manner, they will often respond back just like that. Like, yeah, cool, bro. There are examples that I've seen the other day. Like one guy got emailed on LinkedIn by a guy that was his age, and he was like, "I'm not speaking corporate with this guy." He's like 19. And yeah, it's just funny to see like people being able to flip back and forth. Obviously, there's a big difference between Gen Z communication and direct communication, but it's a lot closer to direct than corporate BS. These characteristics are inversed for unproductive people. I think inversed is a word. People. Also known as pseudo productive. People. I'm going to use LARP because live action role. I feel like this is a really good use of live action role play. So I'm going to throw LARP. That LARP by attempting to seem productive. By attempting to seem productive. I'm gonna say like a demographic. A demographic that LARPs productivity by churning emails, Slack, messages, and unnecessary meetings to procuted. Ooh, that's horrible. I'm pretty sure that's spelled wrong. Oh, that's not? Calmly in an attempt in an attempt to seem productive. I have 124 words. This thing is going to be long. This overload does multiple things. The harms of action without any intention. I don't even know. Often causes burnout, especially when coupled with the lack of results. Especially when coupled with the lack of results. This overload of action without any intention often causes burnout, especially when coupled with, I'm going to say, a lack of results. And then, do I suffer from pseudo productivity? Do I suffer from pseudo productivity? Which ways I avoid being pseudo productivity? Damn, I really got to hit 300 words. As okay, so the hardest part of this is deciding whether or not I fall into pseudo productivity. Should I say I don't? It'd be, should I? I don't know. As an, I would say I don't. When I fall. I'm gonna just say that I do. I would say that I would say that I fall into pseudo productivity. The pseudo productive category. Newport writes about. I would say I fall into the pseudo-productive category Newport writes about. Small tasks from sending single emails. Ooh, should I say that I don't? Because I have ADHD. Ooh. I would say that I don't fall into the pseudo-productive category Newport writes about. Small tasks. In regards to how in regards to the productivity category I'm going to use a quote. Hold on. A group categorized by the use of, oh, that's in the quote, never mind. By the use of visible activity as the primary means of approximating actual productive effort. And then pseudo-productive people are a demographic that they are a demographic pseudo-productive people. What I say, these things are one demographic that does this plural noun because it's like one demographic that's doing it, or is it a group of people? Pseudo-productive people are members of a demographic that LARP productivity by turning emails, Slack messages, and scheduling unnecessary meetings in an attempt to seem productive. Most notably by turning emails, Slack messages, all in an attempt to seem productive. This overload of action without any intention often causes burnout, especially when coupled with a lack of results. In regards to the productivity category I fit in, fall into, I would say that I don't fit in with the pseudo-productive category Newport writes about. Small tasks from sending single emails to even brushing my teeth can seem insurmountably large. They can. Shout out ADHD. Fun fact, mornings where I take my meds and I'm up for about 40 minutes, or I'm like up for an hour before I go to school and I take my meds first thing in the morning. The last 20 minutes when they kick in, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like getting ready and stuff. And that's literally because my meds are telling me to do this. And it's so crazy that like the only reason I'm able to get stuff done on them is because Adderall causes anxiety, but it works. And yeah, I know, it's just nuts. From sending single emails to even brushing my teeth can seem insurmountably large. So much so that I often can only focus on the most important things and often leave less important things and this often leads to the neglect of less important or immediate things in my life. In my life, I don't want to credit ADHD because I don't want to seem like one of those people that say, oh, it's because of my ADHD, but literally so many things that happen are because of these mental disorders that make us different. And yeah, it's hard to pick less important or immediate things in my life. Math specifically has been immensely difficult, as being forced to wait to take classes which ways I could avoid being pseudo-productive. Life. The best ways of avoiding pseudo productivity are that I've realized are to do things that you love the journey of, and when assessing the best way of avoiding pseudo productivity that I've realized is to do something for the love of the game, for the love of that thing, or that I've come across is to do something for the love of that thing, or to modify the journey such that you can. Yeah. Is to do something for the love of that thing, and then is a two-step process. With step 1 being assessing, with step 1 being why does my voice sound different? There we go. We got that high and back. With step 1 being assessing. What are we assessing? Assessing activities. Assessing goals or activities. And I don't know how to put this. Like, say, like, do something for the love of the game and be results driven. Like, let's say you really wanted to run a business and you can't send Slack emails for the love of the game because that's not a result driven thing. All right. Like making music, right? Actually sit down in FL Studio and make the beats. That's a result driven thing because it's resulted in the beats. And fall in love with making beats. Like I love making beats. To find a journey to with step 1 being assessing goals or activities. As possible in a field that you love. How do you spell field? In a field or on a journey. Love. Love. In music. Renting studio time to play beats and ghost write is completely useless and a perfect example of pseudo productivity. And an example to gain popularity as an art, as a music artist. Renting studio time to play beats and ghostwrite is completely useless and an incredible, I'm going to say and incredible example of pseudo productivity. Whereas making beats in the comfort of one's own home and in the studio is the most effective use of in the comfort of one's own home using to record mix wholly record mix or master is far more effective and is a journey that's driven as possible in a field or on a journey field process that you love. In an example where I would want to gain popularity as a music artist, renting studio time to play beats and ghostwrite is completely useless and an incredible example of pseudo productivity. Whereas making beats and writing music in the comfort of one's own home and using a studio to record, mix, or master, whereas making beats in the comfort of one's own home and using a studio to record, mix, or master is a far more effective process and is something I enjoy far something that I find far more enjoyable. It's the same for math. It's the same for math. Things like producing content related to addition might seem productive. It's the same for those wanting to become great mathematicians. Something like amongst the lines of producing social media content related to easier subjects like addition might seem productive. When I could be moving on to differential geometry, but it's far from so when I could be moving on to differential geometry. for those that love learning math, and want. For those that love learning math and want to become great mathematicians. Something amongst the lines of producing social media content about addition might seem productive, but is far from so when they could be moving on to and learning more difficult subjects such as differential geometry. Love that is simultaneously productive always gives amazing results. Is by far come across is doing something you love that is simultaneously productive. The simultaneously productive often gives amazing results. This allows one to be results driven and makes results driven activities more fun than the complete waste of time, more than potential complete waste of time. Let's reply to this. Six, 7, 8. All right, let's see this. Got new bar, use that productive, enjoyable, deeperly and deliberately. Put this back here. Focuses on fewer tasks at a time. Holy words. What'd the other guy say? What are we supposed to say on our response? Okay, just respond. I thought your fuck, what should I say? I thought your I had no idea that pseudo would make it into something like amongst the lines of the Marine Corps. I think it's incredibly interesting. What do we say on our responses, gang? Okay, so we're just like adding shit on our own. Yeah, sure, dude. I think it's incredibly interesting that this is the case, as many authoritative figures e.g. can often reflect this activity based I don't even know what to call that, bro. A bias? Favoring physical work as opposed to what? I don't know. Favoring visible work as opposed about to ask some cornball shit, bro. Do you think that were there ever any situations, groups of people, departments, or anywhere in the military that you saw that prioritized, I don't even know what to call that, work? To seem productive and begin to focus more on intentional action. I don't know. All right, I send it be like an email. You feel me? All right, let's do June already. Whew, that's a lot of words. I'll have to ask for sending. Okay. I love that analogy. Who'd you text me?
Researchers have fired a piece of metal into these bacteria at over 400 miles an hour. And they
Say swear. Okay, yeah. Oh, well, it's reversed, but yeah, she said she's about to work on it, so that's good. I don't know. All right, let's do it. Fuck. I love the focus analogy, as it is not only an incredible explanation of the follies of pseudo productivity. I love looking at like my OBS monitor because it's like my regular monitor but smaller and it's easier on my eyes, as it's because it's just a reflection of my main monitor. As it's not only an incredible explanation of the follies of pseudo productivity, but is also a play on words with focus centered about the can be applied in as someone that also doesn't partake in pseudo productivity, I've noticed that it often stems from being able to get results with a lower amount of effort than needed to seem productive. I mean, I'd honestly say that's about it. From being able to get the same results with a lower amount of effort than needed to seem productive. And that many fall into pseudo productivity when supervisors believe in the notion that without any vector almost as if productivity is a scalar. Almost as if productivity is a scalar. action with magnitude and direction. I don't know. I was curious about your opinions regarding all right, bet. That's one thing. Okay, what else do we have? Slow productivity. Week 2 discussion, how books shaped my life. And then this bullshit. Damn, I did all of these late. 2 classmates by Sunday night. At least 150. 300 words. Chapter 4, and they say, I say. I'm pretty sure I uploaded They Say, I Say to my iCloud drive. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so chapter 4. Let's go over to chapter 4. Yes, no, okay, but let me find this here. Where's chapter 5? I don't know. Okay. 59 to 73. Calculator, 113 minus 59. Plus 73, 127. Okay, so it looks like that's going to be on 127. Oh, no. Okay, so we have 113, and then what? Oh, to 133. Okay. So the pages are formatted a little odd. Extract. How do you get this out, bro? Downloads. All right, perfect. Got that bitch in my downloads. They say, I say. Oof. Big face. I guess we kind of got to go through the chapter. So yeah, let's open up the extracted version.
Um, 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 what's the advice, bro? Um, okay, yeah, this is dumb. This is dumb. I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Got this shit all over fucking everything, bro. Fuck. This is actually such bullshit. Like, actually, bro, like, this pisses me off. This is bait. I'm gonna put on, like, fuck, options, audio settings. All right, I'm gonna go with All right, so new keyboard. Let's do a little bit of a sound test. Okay, yeah, that's okay, yeah, that's a lot louder. That's the loudness we were at before. So this is the new one. Sounds pretty nice. Sounds pretty nice. I'm gonna turn it back on so I can use it. But yeah, what a mishap. Fortunately, I got to hear some of the jazz I made. Right side, you know what I mean? But yeah, holy shit, that was catastrophic. I'm so privileged, bro. If I think that's catastrophic, like what the fuck? But yeah, I actually I made that jazz track. Fun fact. So if I go over to my main, y'all can see like I made this. These are just the stems. I'm not gonna open the project because it takes up like way too much like resources. But yeah, let's turn off that and then that. I think, yeah, here it is. Let's also put that on my face and turn it down just like a tad bit because you don't have to see my keyboard now. So the reason I muted this is because this is the master and all the sounds that you see right here, they're already playing. I'm gonna mute that. And then this is the side chain. So what I did is I isolated the low frequencies and I'm like, okay, this is when the kick is playing, when you hear lots of like low end, and then that's when I told the bass to quiet down. I turned off the side chain though. Yeah, I just have it like really delayed and like off time actually, so there's actually no need for that at all. And then yeah, this is just the raw drums. And then this is the drums with compression. They're a lot louder. So yeah, that's really what that is. This is the bass. Piano and then Rhodes. They're just playing similar notes. And then really high pitched violin. This is my favorite. But yeah, that's my project. Just out of my chair. Damn, now I gotta do this shit. Fuck. Okay, so is it easier to agree with an author, disagree, or reach a middle of the ground or middle of the road nuanced stance like Groff and Birkenstein in chapter 4? I'm gonna chug the Celsius. It's like 5 p.m. Why did I choose this option over the others? Okay, I don't know. Okay, so this heavily depends on the author. So, I mean, I feel like even my response to that indicates that I'm like, you know, nuanced, more of like a nuance type of guy. Actually, I want to see how my live stream even sounds. Give me a sec. Jackson made. Let's pull up me. Yep, live right now. Y'all can't hear it. Actually, I want to see how my live stream even sound. I was curious about how do you get this out, bro? Yep, there it is. And then I spent like 20 minutes cleaning it. Oh, fuck, that's sad. Yeah. And then, yeah, it literally just shows me going through all this shit. Oh my god, my keyboard sounds so good. But yeah. Okay, so first, what's easiest? Honestly, I'd say agreeing. It's so easy to just agree with somebody. So like disgustingly easy. Especially in academia where people are afraid to have a voice and disagree. But in things where there's less of like a skill cap, that's the best way I have of putting it. Don't, you know, in situations where there's like a skill cap, it's a lot more difficult to criticize someone for their opinion or something, or to even just criticize their opinion or at all. So yeah, people get pissy. As a writer, I being nuanced stances that nuanced stances. I'm gonna say I find that reaching nuanced stances. Fuck is my armrest at, bro? Is the easiest as a writer. I find that reaching nuanced stances is the easiest to do and that nuanced stances between sides are the easiest to reach. Whereas spreading such a stance or such a belief can often be extremely difficult. So, I'm going to turn up my mic a little bit just so like we're getting, you know, I have a limiter on. I think it's at like -6 decibels. Bro, one of my friends, her name is Selena, and she sings. That girl crazy. Instagram. Jackson Made. Nope, that is not Jackson Made. This is Jackson Made. Yep, save login info. Let's pull her up. Does she have any reels where she sings? Fire, absolute heat. Anyway. Damn. She been getting. Okay, I didn't even know she was like that on Insta. Anyway, I sent her no, I posted it on my story. I posted the jazz beat on my story that I played for y'all when I fucked up my keyboard. I posted a story about it. Damn, what the hell? Edit highlight. Stories. Something jazzy going on today. I sent her the story and I said, "Hey, bro, you trying to hop on?" And then she said, "Wait, yeah, that's dead eye gorgeous." I didn't really know if she knew what hop on means. I thought she did, but with that response, I was like shitting bricks. I'm like, should I ask her? Like, should I ask her to be on the song? Is that awkward? And apparently she does, because I responded and I said, "Yeah, told you I can cook up." Kind of like, you know, like the question's still in the air, but I'm not like reiterating, like, do you know what that means? Like, are you dumb? Because that could be interpreted as that. So she DM'd me on Insta 8 minutes ago. It was I have other DMs, so I can't really like show y'all. If y'all flip it, it says, "I want to stop being a chud and write a freaking song." So she knows what it means. She's gonna hop on. I'm excited, bro. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I wouldn't even really call it a talking stage. Freshman year, and that's when I just started making beats. Cats, documents, folders. Okay, I don't even know if I have it on here. But I sent her a beat and like we were gonna make a song together, and shit didn't happen because my friend told her that I was cheating even though I wasn't. Like he thought I had side hoes or something, and there's like that whole thing. So she actually stopped talking to me and started talking to my other friend, who wasn't even a part of the whole conversation at all, and they dated for like 3 years. I know, it was so crazy. And now I'm getting the last laugh. Just kidding. I never really thought it was funny at all. I'm so glad that I'm not like mad at her for that. That I'm not like resentful. You know, like that I'm able to realize I'm not entitled to anything. I'm not entitled to someone's time. And that they're allowed to form opinions of me that may result in them not wanting to hang out with me or be with me. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good thing. And I'm really glad that I know that now. I'm actually gonna play the jazz song on loop, but like quietly. 90, bring it down to master, audio tracks. We're gonna unroute this. Okay, so essentially, this is primarily where my voice is at, around like in between the 5 and the 6 band. I'd say closer to the 6 band actually. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop an EQ on the other one, and we're gonna take out that area so it's not cutting into my voice. So let's just drag that one down a bit. Stop. Turn that off. And then add, I don't know, like a limiter or something. Like 6 decibels. I think that's enough. Maybe a little more. All right, perfect. I find nuanced stances between sides I find that nuanced stances between sides are easiest to reach or formulate, whereas spreading such a stance or such a belief can often be extremely difficult due to the oversimplification present. Even as it pertains to this prompt. There are the ironic opinion that the easiest take varies from nuanced to compliance, depending on how rigorous or academic the field is that the take is I find the nuanced stances between sides are the easiest to reach or formulate in everyday arguments where expertise plays a very minor role. Formulate in everyday arguments where expertise plays a very minor role. Damn, bro, how does my stream sound? All right, bro. I think that's enough. Maybe a little more. Yeah, I think I just need to turn the gain down on the limiter a little. Let's do like minus. All right, yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so now the song is at about negative 20 decibels, hovering around there consistently, negative 20. And it's peaking at negative 10 on like drum, I don't know, hits. I'm gonna set that to like negative 6. Yeah, I'm too focused on that. I find the nuanced stances between sides are the easiest to reach or formulate in everyday arguments where expertise plays a very minor role, even as it pertains to this prompt. Even as it pertains to this prompt. Plays a very minor role, and situations can be understood very easily. Even as it pertains to this prompt, there is an almost expertise it is far less of a social. Ours people are less likely to discredit my argument due to a personal lack of experience or certification. Okay, let's see how this reads, because this is all one sentence. I find that nuanced stances between sides are easiest to reach or formulate in everyday arguments, as situations can be understood very easily, e.g. what time of day to shower, which allows me to make use of my tendency to think more irregularly given readily available facts. And because expertise plays a very minor role in everyday discussion, it is far less of a social risk to share my opinions, as people are less likely to discredit my argument due to a lack of personal experience or certification. Even as it Where is it? All right, let's see this. Okay, let's see this. No, I'm actually dead. All right, I got 3 taquitos because 4 or 5 would be very daunting. To stance or belief can often be extremely difficult due to oversimplification present in non-academic circles. That's discussion. Even as it pertains to this prompt, expertise is almost irrelevant. As this is a class discussion and our takes can be understood in the context of the prompt relatively easily. Our dissertations can be understood in the context of our prompt relatively easily. In academic circles, however, only 3 ways to respond. I think it's crazy that as soon as I ran OBS in safe mode, so my live streams used to shut off after like, I don't know, like 25 minutes, and it was 25 minutes every time. So I knew it was a software thing, not like a hardware thing running out of RAM or something. Like it was like something software related. So I ran OBS in safe mode. It disables WebSockets and a bunch of stuff, and my stream has been going for about 5 times that length. No, actually 6, because it's about 2.5 hours, which is 25 minutes times 5 plus which is 30 minutes times 5, but minus 5 times 5, which is 25. So that's about 25 times 6. Yeah, it's pretty tough, and most of it's been like literally like nothing. compliance can. I'm trying to find something to cite, bro. Mainly due to the inherent difficulty of understanding topic at hand. Bro, who wrote this book? Graph. Birkenstein. Goldstein. You know what's crazy? I saw an Israeli Tung Sahur avatar on Roblox. Israel Abi in games. Israel Tycoon. Okay. Israel Tung in Marketplace. Israel waifus and Yahoo is calling. Israel Tung Sahur. Okay. So there's a lot more that I found. Like just now, but this is Tung. Oh my god, this is absurd. 115 Robux. And there's like more too. Like there's a lot. Chud crabs. This is hilarious. Israel waifus. I just found this one. Oh, you can rent them? Oh my god, that's crazy. Oh my god, imagine renting Israeli waifus. That's absurd. Okay, they're 2D. Yeah, I guess if you did that in 3D, that'd be pretty difficult to like get approved. Netanyahu is calling. That's kind of tough, actually. That's actually kind of funny. And then the shiny Israel fedora. This is terrible. Oh my god, yo, country is actually a meme. Tiki Tiki Abi. Oh my god, bro. Play this game if you're bored. Dictator, Mbappe, Abi. Okay. Israel Tycoon. 6-7. I'm sorry. Israel Test. I looked up Israel, like looking up the Tung 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 Sahur, and number 1 suggestion was games. Number 2 was Israel Tycoon in games, and number 3 suggestion was Israel Abi in games. So that's why I opened those. Graf, Birkenstein. However, compliance seems to be far easier for a multitude of reasons, with one of the most prevalent causes of fear of disagreement in students. With one of the most prevalent causes of fear of disagreement among students, with one of blank stemming from the belief that said students do not know enough about the topic at hand, or that they simply are not smart enough. Graf, Birkenstein. Something likely caused by the inherent difficulty of understanding something at the highest academic level. Perhaps you'll worry that fitting your own response. At the academic level, I don't even know what else there is to say after that. It's harder to disagree with academics. Like, that's not DJ academics. He's really easy to disagree with, actually. I don't know, dude. I feel like my life is gonna go to crap because life is just getting more and more difficult in the US, and I feel like it's all Israel's fault and Trump's fault, and we need Trump to like lock in. This is hard. Understanding subjects at the highest academic level. It is noteworthy, however, that nuanced opinions. It is noteworthy, however, that nuanced opinions that center around everyday subjects are often much more difficult to spread due to their tendency to be grossly oversimplified. Due to their tendency to be grossly oversimplified, and the general public's lack of patience as its patience regarding giving opinion. daily basis is to, bro, this advice right here, I am of two minds. State, let's do first. Directly communicate. And when you're and only, I don't know, only what? Once your stance is understood. My position appreciate the I'd say that's good, honestly. Yeah, dude. Alright, so to do a 150 word reply to both. I wonder, is there a syllabus on here? Does he explain like what you're supposed to do in your responses? Go to quizzes. Let's see this. preface. Let's see this. What is this? Wait, was that it? What? Alright. Alright, well, I'm going to finish my homework next time. I'm going to start off with the proof of the distance between a vector. The distance between a point and a plane. And I'm going to be deriving that formula and writing a proof for it for Calc 3.